This is awesome. I'm a writer, and what I've found is that the most effective place for me to be while I'm writing is generally positive. And like, it's coming, the characters are going to come to me, the scene is coming, it's all going to work out. And I kind of work from that space. Sometimes I'll be writing, and suddenly I'll get images of like the Oscar and like huge success, etc. And I get really excited. And in the past, that could take me away from the desk and kind of take me out of it. And more recently, what I've been doing is kind of ease off of that and say, okay, that's cool, but let's get back to it. It's coming. Just keep focusing on the work. Keep bringing it through, which I really enjoy and seem to be really effective. And so I'm kind of going away from that specific positive, which is coming easy, but it seems to be taking me away from the work, that the excitement almost ungrounds me from my gut. It ungrounds me from the work. So I'm wondering what's going on there.
Well, there are two significant things. When you are in that creative flow, you are experiencing what we call optimum life, because you're focused and you're in sync with that broader view, and that's just as good as it gets. That's far better than a peak experience, because it's a peak, 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 peak. In other words, it's that tuned in, tapped in, turned on, which is what everyone is living for. We want to convey to you how downright delicious it is from a source energy perspective, which includes your own inner being, everyone you've ever hung around with that is reemerged into non-physical. In fact, everyone who has gone before, who is aware of you here and now, and it's a huge cadre of energies. So here we all are, focused with you in this moment, just having a really wonderful time, whether you are or not. And then you slip in to vibrational sync with us. It's a little bit like when we are visiting with someone in the hot seat, and they've brought a list of questions that they are determined to ask. So they ask and we answer, and they ask and we answer, and they ask and we answer. But they don't really listen to what we're saying because they figure they can listen to the tape later. And the conversation doesn't evolve beyond what they were asking before when they wrote it down. So it's satisfying, and often we choose them because they've really done a good job of bringing some clear questions to being that would be beneficial. But it is far less satisfying than having an open, ongoing, expansive dialogue with someone who comes into the vortex and has a conversation with us with not just words but vibration about things that really matter to them. So when you are in that creative moment where you're allowing yourself to be in sync with all of that clarity and energy and wisdom and knowledge and caring and loving from all of that, it's a dynamic moment. Now, winning an Oscar, it's good too. And we know a lot of people, we've been there with a lot of people who've had that experience. But those are peak experiences. They don't last very long. Even the accolades that come beyond it don't last that long. And in comparison with the in the moment flowing of energy that you have access to right here and now, this is huge in comparison with that, even though that seems like a much bigger prize. And this is the other thing that we really want you to hear about that. That prize is about meshing with outside perspectives. This prize is about meshing with inside perspectives, and it is infinitely more satisfying, you see. And then the third thing that we want to say about that is that in many, many cases, not as many as could be, but in many cases, both merge. In other words, we're not saying pick that over the Oscar. In many cases, the greatest of experiences, the great writers wrote when they were in alignment. And sometimes your public is wise enough to recognize the greatness of it, but not always. You see, there are a lot of other dynamics that are going on. So we want to ask you, because it's almost like you're meshing with two different streams of thought. Are you meshing with the greatness of the fulfillment of the writing, Or are you meshing with the greatness of being in the right place at the right time in order to get the right accolades about the right material? Because they don't always necessarily go together. Jerry and Esther have said about this work from the beginning, it has always been the intention that they both held most deeply. It is our desire to line up with the energy that is Abraham, and then put ourselves in a position where as many people as possible can have this first-hand experience, where they can be in on the collaborative moving forward of thought. In other words, it is the expansion of the message that they have always been most excited about. And how the world regards them has been far less important. And it's a good thing, because the world does not usually regard leading edge creation in a very emphatic way. It's a much different thing than what's at the heart of that powerful creation, you see. So you can have it all. We would just encourage that you seek alignment first.